Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1998 Represent. Today, we're talking about some pinball. We're talking about Monster Bash in particular. One of my favorite pinball machines of all time, I think, is in my top five. Was released in July of 1998. When I was doing my research for this video, it didn't give a specific release day. It was just said July of that year. So July 1998, manufactured by Williams. Let me just pull my notes over here. Manufactured by Williams. The cool thing with this pinball machine is it's still a licensed theme, so it's Universal Monsters, but it's what if the Universal Monsters were all in a rock band. So each of the monsters in this machine, so you have Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Wolfman, and the Mummy, and they all are in a rock band. They all play different instruments. I think Dracula plays guitar. The Mummy plays bass. Wolfman plays drums. You have Frankenstein on the keyboard. Bride of Frankenstein is your vocalist, that's just singing, and then the Creature from the Black Lagoon plays the saxophone. So just a really kind of zany concept, but it's the machine works well and it uses like the theme of it really well. Most modern games I see now are based on some other like intellectual property. I just played the 007 one, the new 007 from Stern. I only got to play one game on it. I don't really particularly love modern pinball. I think the video display screens that they use now instead of the dot matrix display are a little more distracting because there's like so much going on those screens you don't really know what's going on in the game, and then if you look up at the screen too long you're going to get distracted and lose your ball. That's happened a few times to me on some of those machines. um, they just made a Foo Fighters machine, which I definitely want to check out, so hopefully that one is good, but I'm not really huge on a lot of the more modern games. But let's see here. There was only seven pinball machines released or produced in 1998. 1999 is when we got what's called Pinball 2000. There was two machines. One was called Revenge from Mars. The other was based on the Star Wars Episode One, The Phantom Menace. Those machines were okay, but they definitely felt they were using like hologram screens and a bunch of weird stuff. And those were the only two machines that they released in that series. And then Williams and Bally basically stopped making pinball machines, leaving only Stern at the time. So it was Sega, it was Data East, then it was Sega, then it was Stern. It was even Stern before it was Data East, so it was kind of all at like I think in the 90s we had maybe like four pinball machine manufacturers or four major ones. There was Data East, which eventually became Sega. There was Bally, Williams, and Gottlieb up until like I think Gottlieb went out of business in like the mid 90s, but Williams kind of stuck it around until Pinball 2000, and now basically I think there's another company called Jersey Jack Pinball. I don't think I've played any of their games, and then there's Stern, who has been basically making pinball machines since 2001. Is kind of like I think Monopoly was their first one, or first one out after everything else was shut down, and then Stern started making games. They got the license back with Sega and a bunch of weird stuff. I don't really know the complete history of it, but that's kind of how it went down. Like I said, only seven pinball machines released in 1998. I think 1999 it was about the same, and then it was basically even less after that. Um, there was the one cool thing with this machine is the versions I played on. Played it again recently. I don't think it's the same exact machine, but I think there was this one machine up where I used to live, and I played it in 1998 and 1999, and then the arcade it was at switched it out with something else, and it wasn't until 2012 that I saw the game again, and I think it was the exact same model or exact same like machine, because this one, the one I would play, had a like a glitch. It wasn't really a glitch. It was something that you could exploit, and it was Dracula. You see on the image here on the right side of the screen, his coffin actually pops out and moves along a like a track, and it kind of moves back and forth. And the object is to hit Dracula like 5 times or 6 times to complete his mode, and you unlock his instrument. The version I would play had a thing where if you were to kick the right leg of the machine, like just like not hard, just like tap it with your foot, it would register a hit on Dracula. So you can basically just kind of cheat and get Dracula completely finished up just by not even hitting the target, just by kicking the leg of the machine. Just kind of like a fun little glitch. And then, like I said, I did that in 1998 and 1999, and then in 2012, I'm assuming it's the same machine because it had the exact same like exploit to where you could kick it and it would register a hit. Unless that was just a thing that was in maybe all of them, but I did try it when I most recently played it, and that didn't work. So I'm thinking it was just that one machine. So there's the Dracula, but we're gonna be there is a cool thing in this called the Phantom Flip, where it's the flipper. If Phantom Flip is lit, it'll flip for you. It's kind of like the Thing flipper in the Addams Family. It'll actually just flip for you. It's kind of cool. And then there are, I believe, 6 main modes in this game. So each monster has its own mode. So, like I said earlier, you have Dracula, and you're supposed to hit him a certain number of times to get his guitar. Um, the Mummy, you have a thing where you basically, I think you're hitting the bumpers to increase the value of his shots, and then you're hitting ramps and loops to get those shots and have them be more valuable. And eventually, if you do that, if you do it well and you beat his mode, you get his bass guitar. Um, Wolfman, you want to shoot on the outside edges. Basically, you're doing these loops, and once you hit those loops, you unlock his drum set if you finish that mode up. Frankenstein is probably the most interesting mode in the game because it's you can kind of, if you time it right with other modes, you can pause the timers on them. So each mode has a certain amount of time, like 30 seconds to do this or 30 seconds to do that or whatever it might be. If you have other modes going before you activate Frankenstein, so basically to activate Frankenstein, you collect all his body parts, or Igor collects them for you, and then Frankenstein, the little wall behind him will lower down, and you can shoot up the center ramp, and it will start a multi-ball for Frankenstein. If you do that, if you basically shoot the center ramp while you have other modes going, it stops the timers on those modes, and then you're more likely to get those characters finished up because you now have multiple balls coming in, and you don't have to worry about the timers expiring because the timers are paused because of Frankenstein. So that's pretty cool. Bride of Frankenstein, you're basically shooting ramps to over and over again to get her microphone, and then final one is Creature from the Black Lagoon, where Creature from the Black Lagoon has a shot on the right side of the board, where if you hit it a certain number of times, it'll eventually start his mode where you are then shooting shots and things to get his saxophone. If you play each monster's mode and don't get their instrument, there's one mode called, I think it's like just Monster Mash or something, and it's one of the wizard modes, like wizard mode being like, hey, you did all these, here's like the final mode. There's 2 wizard modes in this game. One is if you just play all the monsters once, you unlock that mode, or you can play that mode. If you collect all the instruments, you then get another mode that has even more points in that. I don't think I've ever done that one, but I have had it. Have had the other mode go where, like you played all the monsters modes, you maybe didn't get all the instruments, but I did that sub wizard mode plenty of times back in when I would play this often. I used to play this like basically after school. Because I had a job where I would get out the bus, I would have like 30 minutes before I had to be at work, so I would go down to the arcade, play a few rounds on this, and then go to work. So I definitely really kind of liken this machine to basically my summer 1998, spring of 1999. This was kind of my go-to pinball machine. That's going to do for this part of the video. We're going to flip around, and I'm actually going to play some of this game through a pinball emulator. So we'll be right back with that, and I'll be able to kind of show you some of the interesting things about this game through that emulator. And we'll be right back with that. All right, and we are back with our pinball emulator loaded up. I don't know how well this is going to actually record, but I'll be able to show you kind of how Monster Bash plays. We're going to play maybe a game or two, see how it goes. I haven't actually ever recorded using this, so I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be like laggy or whatever, but we're going to give it a shot here. So this is a combination of visual pinball and the pin main. So it's pinball emulation. I'll leave a link in the description where you can check out the website for this kind of stuff. It's pretty fascinating because I've been using this program, I want to say, since 2001. There's multiple versions of it. And the people that recreate these machines, it's not just straight up emulation. The emulator is only actually taking in the software. But basically, they use this visual pinball editor to recreate all these games in that editor, and it's A lot of work. I've tried using it before myself, and it's definitely, there's like a scripting language to it. It's pretty fascinating, so I'll leave a link in there to check it out. But we're going to play some Monster Mash right now. Let's go ahead and launch this ball here. So if you can get the skill shot. Alright, skill shot there. If you get the skill shot, you get an object for each person's mode. Each character has a mode. Like the frying pans are for Bride of Frankenstein and so on. Spear gun is for Creature from the Black Lagoon and so on. So let's see what we got here. We're in one of the venues. We have the Cavern Club. Did I set it up for a two-player game? I guess I did. All right. I guess I'm playing two players then. All right. All right. That was terrible. All right. We got the bonus up there. I am not good at this. I mean, like, you can nudge the machine. I forget what keys I set it for that, but second ball here. Skill shot. Got the garlic. That's for Dracula. All right, into the venue. What do we have here? The embalm. I can't tell anything that said. Another venue. We have here that advances money. And the venues all do different stuff. So, like, you get points, you get items for certain modes. 50,000 points there. Another venue. Alright, Drac Attack is lit. And we have a garlic clove. Alright, we're going to start Drac Attack here. And I think we have a garlic clove, so that'll make it, basically it's a free shot on Dracula.
Good evening. Let's boogie.
I don't know if this version of the table is rendering Dracula, but Dracula pops out of that coffin and moves back in. So I only hit him once. So, next ball from this player. We got a garlic clove there as well. Alright, so this is the last ball for this player here. As you can see, we have Dracula lit up on the board. That means we've at least played his mode. We haven't completed it, because if we did, the guitar below him would be lit up, but it's not. Aw, man. Alright, we'll do one more game after this. Let's see if we match. It doesn't matter, it's free anyway, but... Alright, so no match. So we'll do one more game, and hopefully we do better.
Welcome to the Monster Bash.
So if you hit those bumpers enough, you get the mummy mode activated. Oh, man. All right. All right, next ball. Spear gun, that'll help us if we get Creature for the Black Lagoon to go. Another bonus on that. Alright, there's Creature. Ah, there we go. All right. Flaming torches are... Oh, that dropped that really quick, but... Alright, one more game. One more game.
Monsters of rock.
Alright, not doing too well, but... Aw, man! Alright. I don't know, I know in the operator menu for pinball machines you can set up how you want the ball saver to be on for. I don't think the ball saver is even on this. Because usually it's like, if you drain the ball right away, you get the ball back. Alright, one more game, one more game. Alright, this is it. This one game, and this is it. Alright, there's our venue. What do we have here? Haunted Hollow. Aw, man. Alright, one last ball. Here we go. Oh. Alright, and there we have it, but... Alright, but that's going to do it for this video for Monster Bash. One of my favorite pinball machines. Again, this has been Visual Pinball and VPinMain, which are basically pinball emulation software. Check them out. I'll leave a link in the description where you can look at it. Monster Bash is just one of my favorite pinball machines. I didn't do amazingly well. I did actually really terrible this time here. But used to be a lot better at this one, like when it's an actual physical machine. But that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back again with another episode. Don't know what we're going to be covering next. But remember to just like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks again. Take care. Have a good one.